Hello, my name is Alex Rose. I am a combination of different nationalities, including Russian, German, and Mexican, but most importantly, I am an American. I will start the story of my family with my grandfather, Louis Rosenbluth, who was born in Russia in the early 20th century. In Tsarist Russia, my grandfather's parents were factory owners. In 1917, they experienced the Bolshevik Revolution. My great-grandparents fled Russia as a result of the Bolshevik takeover. They moved to Poland, where they decided to start a new life. My grandfather was accepted into a French university. His decision to leave Poland and go to France for school saved his life. On September 1st, 1939, Adolf Hitler invaded Poland. My grandfather was a French soldier at the beginning of the war. The quick defeat of France brought him into Nazi POW camps for the remainder of the war. My great-grandparents were living in Poland at the time of the Holocaust, and because they were Jewish, they were all victims. My grandfather was the only surviving member of his family. With the atomic bomb and the end of the war, my grandfather had nowhere to go. The French government changed his last name from Rosenbluth to Rose. We will now move to the story of my grandmother. Born in Bavaria, which is a part of Germany, in 1933, she experienced the rise of Hitler to power. My grandmother lived on a small farming village in the middle of basically nowhere, so the bombers did not destroy the. At the end of the war, my grandmother experienced the split of Germany into an eastern and western part, and also the beginnings of the Cold War. The destruction left in Europe was terrible. Many people, including both my grandmother and my grandfather, decided the best place to live would be America. Both of them moved first to the East Coast, but they eventually settled in Los Angeles. My grandfather became a chemical engineer. My grandmother worked for American Airlines. They eventually met and got married. On January 13th, 1965, my dad was born. My dad was born in the midst of the Cold War. As a teen, he experienced the peace and the hippie movement. He went to Westchester High School and followed up that education by attending Cal State Long Beach. My dad became a software salesman and worked for a company called ACOM Solutions. He joined the Sierra Club, and on a hiking trip at Mount Baldy, he met my mom. My mom was born in Mexico, as were her grandparents, and their parents, and their parents, and their parents. My mom grew up in a poor Mexican town called Puebla Nueva, basically in the middle of nowhere. My mom's family worked the farm. She had 10 siblings. Each of them, one by one, migrated to America until it was only her left. Eventually, she immigrated illegally in the mid-70s. Became the first person in her family to go to college. She went to CSUN. After college, my mom became an accountant. She became a legal resident of the United States with the amnesty of 1986. She joined the Sierra Club, where she met my dad. And before you know it, I was born. I was born in 1992, which is the same year of the LA riots. 3 years later, my brother was born. And 2 years after that, my sister was. In the span of our short lives, we have experienced the turn of a new millennium. We experienced one of the worst terrorist attacks to ever happen to the United States of America, and we experienced the election of the first African American president of the United States. I also experienced my first AP course, which I am in right now.